Good evening. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, I would like to welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Please stand as Senior Emma Humphrey performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Emma. I would like to now welcome Student Council President Colin Slater to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. You may be seated. Before we begin our ceremony, recognizing our seniors, I'd first like to recognize our retirees, who've given multiple generations of students the tools they need to be successful, adapting those tools across decades as the world evolves, and adapting no more so than this past year. Many were not able to be here with us this evening, but I'd like to acknowledge the names. Ms. Cynthia Gordon, 8th grade social studies. Ms. Lucia Grande, our cafeteria worker. Mr. Mark Kelly, facilities director. Ms. Brenda Regan, Deer Hill staff. Ms. Heidi Salerno, Deer Hill staff. Mark Craig, high school photography. Ms. Alamar of the school committee. Thank them for their time and dedication to the students of Cohasset. We do, however, have one retiree that is of particular importance to the class of 2021, having been with many of you throughout your entire experience in Cohasset Public Schools. Like you, she will be moving on at the end of the school year to begin the next chapter of her life. We would like to recognize her with a small gift of appreciation, and I would invite Mr. John DeWall, Deer Hill music teacher, to make the presentation.
Thank you, Principal Scott. I'd like to start by asking the graduating class of 2021 a few quick questions. Don't worry, we won't withhold your diploma if you get these wrong. Raise your hand if you can recite the ABCs. Good. Raise your hand if you can count to 100 with relative ease. Excellent. Raise your hand if you know what Roy G. Biv refers to. Good, they're safe. If you raised your hand even just once, it's because a kindergarten teacher helped you learn them. Kindergarten teachers are a lot like masonry workers. They lay the foundation for all of the work to come. With a strong foundation, it becomes possible to build a strong house. Even if the roof leaks or the walls come crumbling down, with a strong foundation, there is always the possibility of rebuilding the house and making it better than it was. My mom started teaching kindergarten in Cohasset in 1998 and has been laying the foundation for student success ever since. If my math is correct, she has logged close to 4,140 school days and almost 25,000 hours in the classroom. In these 23 years, she has had more than a handful of rabbits as classroom pets, notably one by the name of Lily Blossom Vanderlap. She has written and performed songs on her guitar to celebrate birthdays, star students, and the first 100 days of school. She has spent countless hours at home both on weeknights and weekends preparing lessons. She did all of this and more as the mother of two kids who were only 10 and 12 when she began her teaching career. Mom, I can honestly say I didn't think the day would come when you decided to retire. I envisioned you teaching forever because, as I've often been told by your colleagues, you are the definition of a kindergarten teacher. I wish you many relaxing days in retirement because you've definitely earned them after teaching kindergarten for 23 years. You leave behind very big shoes to fill, and the town of Cohasset owes you a debt of gratitude. Congratulations on your retirement.
Congratulations, Mrs. DeWalt. Thank you for all that you've done for our students and for your colleagues. I would like to now welcome Class President Michael Powers to the podium to give our welcome address.
Well, seeing that COVID's going to be over in a few days, I decided we'll just focus on the good memories of Cohasset High School. Good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome members of the school committee, administration, faculty, friends, parents, siblings, and grandparents to this graduation ceremony for Cohasset High School's class of 2021. Today is the day that I never believed would actually arrive. Between the anticipation of moving on to the next journey of our lives and into perhaps the most exciting time for us as adolescents, and the nostalgia of saying goodbye to so many cherished memories created during our time at Cohasset High School. Today marks a crossroads for us students. 4 years has truly never gone by so fast. And while looking forward to our future plans is an exciting prospect, it is how the school has shaped and influenced us that allows us to move on feeling prepared and with a sense of pride for our school. We have been blessed and inspired by amazing educators, administrators, and coaches who ignited our curiosity and passion, who challenged us, who raised the bar of expectation, and who always supported and encouraged the disheartened. I would be remiss if I did not give a special thank you to all the parents of this graduating class. You work tirelessly every day to nurture our growth and provide the love necessary to help us through all the good times and the bad. Our parents gave us this opportunity to grow up in this one-of-a-kind place. A place where we are spoiled with the luxuries of beautiful beaches. A place where teenagers have the opportunity to make money by teaching 9-year-olds how to sail. That is something unusual and not available in most communities. So be thankful for what this town has to offer, and think about how fortunate we all are to have gone to school and grown up in such a place like this, and understand that none of this would be possible without the hard work of our parents. So on behalf of the student body, I would like to thank the entire faculty of Cohasset High School and all the parents in the audience today for all their efforts, dedication, and hard work over our years here. You are the ones that have provided the platform for 127 students to stand up here at graduation today. It is my honor to stand in front of you and celebrate the spectrum of achievements of this class. We have been a part of team state championships in the boys and girls lacrosse teams, numerous South Shore League titles across all sports, and our very own Liam Cunney was able to reach a milestone with 1,000 points in boys basketball. We have been a part of wildly successful productions put on by our theater department, individual awards for musical achievements, and even national scholarly accolades. This class has done it all, and it's with the utmost pride that I'm humbled by all that my classmates have achieved individually and collectively. It is my hope that 25 years from now, when we all walk down the halls together once more, we do so with goosebumps while remembering Coach A yelling at us to bring in canned foods, or having teachers stop us in the halls to tell us to put our masks over our noses, or the penultimate number being torn down from the senior countdown and the tearful realization of your final day in high school to come. The final hug goodbye to your best friend before the clock struck 2:40 became the most everlasting embrace of your life, as those countless seconds encapsulate every emotion felt during high school and just how meaningful the school and memories created have been. Yet, that embrace represents the privilege we have had as a class together, a group of 127 students that couldn't do anything without everyone else finding out, because, as it goes in Cohasset, your business is everyone else's. This graduating class has such a profound bond and sense of togetherness, which is why our time at Cohasset High School has been so special. It is a blessing that we could not find at any other school. I, for one, wouldn't want it no other way. Our grade has come a long way together from our days back in the beginning of high school. Even the long winter nights freshman year of sitting around trying to make plans with girls who wanted no part of awkward teenage boys seem as if they happened yesterday. Yet, despite our years of despair, we made it through. But today, as we 127 students sit side by side with each other for one final time, it is our special relationship that allows us to celebrate this moment together by looking at one another and recalling all our shared memories of Cohasset High School. Our individual change is what has paved the way for our collective growth. Think of all the tears shed, the conversations exchanged, and the laughter shared. Look at the shaking beginnings compared to our now confident ending. We have carried each other through the pains, the pleasures, the challenges, and the rewards, and have helped learn from one another. And we will continue to do so even as we part ways and move on to the most distant of places. Every day at Cohasset, we are confronted, challenged, scolded, rewarded, comforted, and molded. Every moment is bursting with emotion that washes over us like a wave breaking. And as the tide ebbs back out to sea, we file that feeling away, and we learn. When the next wave climbs into the sky, we face it with our shoulders square, with the memory of our last experience still fresh in our mind. So as you face your next challenge, and perhaps the biggest wave you have ever seen, you will be anchored with the knowledge that you have accumulated and the perseverance you have shown in the many breaking waves that have come before you. So go out into the world with an open mind and know the simple joy we will all find when we are once again reunited, basking in the sun at Sandy Cove and sharing new stories of our proud and maybe not so proud college exploits. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sail, explore, dream, discover. I can't help but think that Mark Twain had the image of a small coastal community in his mind when he wrote that. And maybe even the thought of 127 brave souls departing for a new life in new places scattered all across the globe. So take up this challenge. Never let a memory become stronger than a dream. Do not fear a rocky coast. Take one final glimpse back through the spyglass of your memory and to your fellow 126 classmates and the wondrous memories you have shared as your ship departs the safe harbor of Cohasset, and then dare to aspire for something new and something great as you sail to a new shoreline. Thank you, faculty, administrators, and parents. Take flight, class of 2021. It's time to fly. Congratulations, and best of luck to all of you.
Thank you, Michael. At this time, I'd like to invite to the podium Superintendent Dr. Patrick Sullivan, whose efforts and insights never wavered this year from navigating the challenges of the pandemic in an attempt to keep the joy.
Thank you. Members of the school committee, esteemed faculty, families, and of course, graduates, welcome to today's graduation where we honor the accomplishments of the class of 2021. Before I begin, I want to thank Principal Scott and his team for their great work in celebrating the seniors. Please join me in a nice warm round of applause for them. Also, I want to express my thanks to the town of Cohasset, to the school committee, to the district leadership, to staff, to students, and to families for your ongoing efforts these past 2 years to keep everyone in the school community safe during the COVID-19 crisis. I'm going to try to follow the 3 B's for superintendent graduate addresses. Be good, be brief, and be seated. Let's keep this simple. Graduates, enjoy the moment. Be happy with the now. Since you have jumped into the water, just float with me for a minute. Enjoy the sound of the ocean, the background chatter of your friends in the distance, feel the sun on your face, and think of that delicious JJ's ice cream that awaits you in typical Cohasset fashion. Graduation is a great moment in your life if you let it be. Too many times in life, we meet our accomplishments with a rush to the next challenge or with some form of disappointment about what we could or should have done differently. Don't do that. Enjoy this time with your friends and view where you are right at this moment as a disembarking point. Quite frankly, although you all have taken different routes to get here, you are all here, and there is some equality and unity in that. Find comfort that in many ways you are free from all that you are used to, good or bad. Allow this happiness. If you let it, this feeling will center you in the future. The memory of this happiness will empower you. It is true that there is a strong current ahead of you, but your generation is ready. You believe as second nature that people are equal. You do not believe in discriminating against others because of the color of their skin, their ethnicity, their gender, their sexual orientation, or their faith. You believe in economic fairness and equity. You reject that we have no responsibility for the desecration of our earth. You are responsible, prepared, and enlightened. You are a generation of critical thinkers, innovators, and activists, and you will let your goals be reflections of your dreams and desires to improve the world. In short, you are the people for whom the world has been waiting. You are floating in the right direction, and when you do begin to swim, your journey will be one of social, political, and environmental change. You will, of course, face some challenges and obstacles, but remember, right now, we are keeping it simple. Perhaps keeping one's outlook simple and centered is the key to future success. As Mahatma Gandhi said, if we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change with him. We need not wait to see what others do. Always keep in mind that love, kindness, and empathy are bigger than anything in their way. If you remember that simplicity, you will not only be happier, you will be more successful in your career and in your life. I was reminded of this sentiment about perspective upon seeing a sign recently which read, "Enjoy the little things in life, for someday you will realize that they are actually the big things." But there is time for all of that later. For now, just enjoy the floating for a moment. Congratulations. Oh, and under your seat, you will see I provided all of you with a JJ's ice cream gift certificate for that ice cream. Enjoy the moment. It's really there, I'm not kidding. Just the graduates, nobody else be surprised. And you got one too in principal stuff. You certainly deserve it. Best of luck in your future endeavors. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. It is my pleasure now to welcome our class orator, Ms. Carolina Simmons.
Dr. Sullivan, Dr. Scollins, members of the school committee, faculty, families, and classmates. At the beginning of this year, I created a video showcasing our class growing up throughout our years in the Cohasset school system. My goal was to elevate school spirit as we entered our senior year during COVID. To do so, I asked my fellow classmates what their favorite part of Cohasset High School was. Although the answers varied widely, each person described an important aspect of what made these 4 years truly remarkable. But a theme ran through all of them. As Genevieve Alstead and Lauren Stevens beautifully articulated, the best part of CHS was the people. I firmly believe that every person enters our life for a reason, to teach us something. These are some of the lessons I've learned. Connie Chapman showed me that it is never too late to start something new. Even though she had never played lacrosse, she marched onto the field freshman year and demonstrated grit, perseverance, and skill throughout the seasons. Lee Spicer and Kate Cunning taught me the power of hard work and determination as they proceed to play Division I sports next year. Anna and Jimmy Grech taught me the importance of forgiveness. Students at CHS all know the most stressful part of the day is leaving the student parking lot. In doing so, I backed a neon green Jeep right into the Grech's car. Yet, they were understanding and kind, unlike my father. Quinn Walsh and Max Boy taught me about this great responsibility we have to each other, to invest in our community. A responsibility that is ingrained in our minds throughout the year and touches us all in unique ways. From NHS Homework Center to beach cleanup days, annual food and clothing drives, and putting for patients, it is the community at Cohasset High School that made it so memorable. As Dylan Constantino puts it, I'm encouraged to learn from each other, to listen to each other, and to support each other. It is an amazing experience to enter kindergarten with majority of the same people graduating today. We have accomplished everything as teammates, not working against each other, but instead finding the most success through collaboration. Through the people I've been surrounded by for the past 12 years, I have learned that inspiration is found within others. As Coach A once said, that Julian Edelman once said, who was quoting Robert H. Schuller, tough times don't last, tough people do. This year, we recognize the witty and lively spirit as our grade, as we learned that there is no substitute for being with one another. When we are together, it doesn't matter what we are doing. Anna Kane emphasized that Spirit Week was her favorite part of high school. From Andy Green showing up in a fully inflatable dinosaur costume, to Michael Powers in an extravagant 70s outfit topped off with a huge wig, to even Dylan Snee wearing an entirely camouflaged suit, we never lacked a chance to showcase our school spirit. Each student urged their friends and teachers to participate, not to win best costume, but to feel united and connect with each other. Colin Slater claims that his favorite event was dodgeball. Although my team had a rough dodgeball career, losing 2 years in a row to the teachers team, this event never fails to showcase the true dedication students have to these events. Teams prepare weeks in advance, orchestrating names and uniforms in an attempt to win the tournament, as done junior year by Christian, Liam, Tommy, Max, Jimmy, Carlton, Jack, and Connor, also known as the Claws. Which Shortwood said that the best part of school was musical chairs at the pep rally. Cam Albanese and Shay Smith asked for a rematch in the dance-off because they loved it so much. Everyone looks forward to Powder Puff, especially me when I get to review the names with Mr. Scott. Every student gave these events their all, striving to be a part of these moments, moments full of nothing except excitement and joy, creating friendships and memories that gave us purpose and energy and unity for these past 4 years. The best part of CHS truly was the people. From students who have been here since kindergarten, like Sarah Cudahy, Aiko White, Amelia Boyle, to those who joined us in middle school, like Zoe Sorensen, Leah Crouch, Faye Buddington, Morgan Sile, and Connor Thompson, to those who even joined us senior year, like Addison Westphalen. We were all welcomed with acceptance and respect. The community we built grew alongside us, and although we are heading our separate ways, the feelings and memories will remain with us. As COVID proved, no distance can keep us apart. Ultimately, during a challenging senior year, the people in this class found joy, happiness, and the willpower to make it memorable. From this, I know that each person holds the ability to see the bright side. The lessons we taught each other over the past 4 years will follow us wherever we go. I'm so grateful to be a part of the class of 2021 and want to thank you all for making it such an amazing experience. As Dwight Schrute says, you only live once, false. You live every day. You only die once.
Thank you, Carolina. I'd like to now welcome our class valedictorian, Kate Cunning.
Good evening, students, parents, siblings, friends, and faculty of Cohasset High School. There is an elderly man who walks on my street every day. Throughout my life, I never really noticed him as I sped down my street to school or practice. But during this past year, as I spent less time speeding to practice and more time strolling around my neighborhood, I grew aware of his presence and began to wonder what his life was like. I had small conversations with him as we passed by one another and learned that he was an MIT graduate, World War II veteran, proud grandfather, loving husband, and successful entrepreneur. Now, at 95 years old, he finds success in his daily walks around the neighborhood, always with a smile beaming on his face. As simple as a grateful salute to the weather or as vibrant as a neighborhood drive-by party for his 95th birthday, the joy that this man expresses in the presence of others, even at a time in which his life appears to be void from the titles of his past, embodies true success in this world. The valedictorian title is a very interesting one, narrowly defining success in high school by a single number, bestowing a sense of superiority while ignoring many of the real lessons we've learned during our time in this high school. In the past 13 years, we've learned how to ask for playdates, mastered the art of persuasion in convincing our babysitters that ice cream for dinner was actually something our parents promoted on a regular basis, discovered the hardship of attempting to forge our parents' signature at 10 years old on our first misconduct slip, only to fail, which I'm very familiar with, learned how to parallel park with a dramatic parent nearly fainting in the passenger seat beside us, and formed unbreakable bonds with those around us. Yet, despite all of these things, we invest so much time and energy on a 3-digit number because we assume it is the ultimate determinant of our success throughout that 13-year period. In fact, we live in a world where titles, numbers, and labels appear to determine our value. Our test scores, our annual salaries, the number on a scale, how expensive our house is. But in reality, apart from a few equations and grammatical rules, I really don't know much about life more than anyone here. So I speak to my fellow graduates this evening, not as someone who has achieved something superior, but as a companion who stands beside you as we attempt to navigate through this crazy world. Today, I would like to share a lesson I learned over the course of my life at Cohasset High School that I hope may help each of you take on whatever is brought in the next phase of our lives. Since being awarded this title, I've received lots of admiration and congratulations from proud family members and friends. They say things like, "You must be so happy," "I want your life," and other similar compliments regarding my recent accomplishments. I knew how lucky I was and that in some sense, they were right. I have an immensely loving family, have had success in sports, have an adorably fluffy dog, and am surrounded by a beautiful home in town. According to resume standards, I was doing pretty well. Yet, despite all of that, I was going about my life with what felt like a hole in my heart, an empty space, like something was missing. As people around me asserted a sense of happiness upon me, I felt as though I was doing something wrong. I recognized my privilege, was hugely grateful for the abundance of opportunities around me, and felt wrong for feeling like something was missing. So naturally, I resorted to the only solution I thought was viable at the time, being better. I thought that if only I could get my GPA a little higher, my strides a little faster, or the interior of my room a little prettier, then maybe, just maybe, that small hole I have been feeling will be patched up. So I studied harder, ate healthier, practiced with more intensity, and to my parents' distress, bought so many houseplants that my room seemed to be transformed into a jungle. But still, that feeling that something was missing lingered, even grew inside of me, and I began to get frustrated. Frustrated at myself, frustrated at the world, and frustrated at my inability to brush this feeling away from me. And as a result, I shut myself from the world and from those who love me, devoting all my energy and attention at bettering myself in all the surface level ways I thought were necessary to patch that emptiness I was feeling. When the pandemic hit, my sense of something missing only grew. On March 13th, 2020, as we all ran through the student parking lot whooping and cheering as naive pre-pandemic teenagers about our recently announced 2-week break, we had no idea that our lives were about to turn upside down. For the first 2 weeks, I thought about how great this small break was in allowing me to catch up on the things that I thought were most important in bettering myself. I made a color-coordinated calendar, literally planning my days by the hour with the naive assumption that the 2-week time was finally my chance to fill that void, always thinking ahead to what the future entailed. But then, as we all know, our return time was repeatedly pushed back. first to May 4th, then to May 28th, and finally, we were to finish out the year at home. Suddenly, my elaborate calendars and unhealthy strive for perfection had little importance relative to the multitude of seemingly world-ending occurrences that were happening by the day. When all the societal forces of habit were removed from my life, when the external forces such as school and sports that seemed to be giving my life its value were suddenly gone, I was forced to turn inwards. I was standing face to face with that hole in my heart, with no way to escape the fact that bettering my image was not the answer to patching it up. If I was unable to take tests to inflate my GPA, score goals in the lacrosse game to better my athletic standing, or had no place to wear new outfits to up my style, how would I heal that sense of emptiness inside of me? And when I asked myself these questions, I learned one of the most important things in my life, that the happiness I had been striving for was not going to come from some external force like a high GPA or a trend-setting style. I realized that in trying to patch that sense of emptiness I was feeling, I was turning to superficial metrics and shutting myself out from the beauty of the world, growing blind to the greatness of the present moments in my life. Because when I really slowed myself down and focused on the world around me, I was able to see that the key to happiness had actually been sitting in front of me all along. The company of my friends that I've known since my early days at the community center, the chaotic blur of boat traffic dodging through Cohasset Harbor on a warm summer day, distinguishing the small outline of my family from within the packed bleachers while standing atop the center field sea of alumni, memories of munching on a cinnamon sugar bagel in between sailing sessions, the contagious smile of the old man walking along my street. The typical graduation speech advises you to, quote, achieve greatness, make history, and leave a legacy. But we, as young adults being forced into the chaotic realm of the real world, have to ask ourselves what our definition of greatness consists of. Our society has a terrible tendency to link material entities with greatness, telling ourselves that once we make millions, once we get that position as CEO, once we receive that title we are striving for, then we will achieve happiness. But in fact, greatness is not the product of wealth, the size of your house, what kind of car you drive, your waist size, or the number of followers you have. Greatness derives from your actions in the crossroads with others. Leaving a legacy does not have to mean making the textbooks. It is to leave those you encounter with just a little more happiness and hope than before you encountered them. So, in simplest terms, our relationships with others are our legacies. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that each and every one of you has the potential to become president or find the cure to cancer, with the implications that then, and only then, a legacy can be made. Because in fact, every action we commit, word we speak, and smile we spread shape our legacies in ways that no title or amount of money can account for. So, put down your phone for a bit, spend time with the people you love, and take in the beauty of being in the moment. Because in the end, the numbers and titles we spend so much time and energy obtaining will in no way amount to the relationships you make and the way you are able to fill that sense of emptiness in times of crises. Like my neighbor Ned, the elderly man that walks on my street, find success in your daily strolls through life. Find success in the drive-by parties your neighbors put on for you, the serenity of the weather, a friendly conversation at the store, the companies of those that you love and those that love you. This is happiness. To the class of 2021, we finally made it. As we seal this memorable chapter of our lives, look around at those that you love. Feel the warmth of the afternoon sun on your face, hear the chirping of the springtime birds, and take in the beauty of the present moment. Congratulations. I am proud to be a member of such an amazing group of people.
All right, folks, here we go. Members of the school committee, Dr. Sullivan, it gives me great pleasure to certify to you that the candidates seated before you have met all of the requirements for graduation as established by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Cohasset School Committee. Our assistant principal, Ms. Noyes, will read our graduates' names as they cross the stage to receive their diplomas.
Catherine Grace Cunning, National Honor Society. Devin Victoria Tullio, National Honor Society. Michael Drevens Powers, National Honor Society. Amelia Charlotte Boyle, National Honor Society. Carolina Beth Simmons, National Honor Society. Lauren Jessica Stevens. Colin Gabriel Slater, National Honor Society. Joseph Quinn Walsh. Congrats. Sean Patrick Thornton. Genevieve Marie Alstead, National Honor Society. Camden Gray Albanese. Robert Christopher Allen. Olivia Patricia Anisted. Haley Nicole Orocho. Lindsay Wynn Aruda. Nicholas Kirby Baker. Gabriel Thomas Barrett. Alexander Earl Bastick. Maxwell Arun Boy, National Honor Society. Kyle Spencer Briley. Faye Juliette Buddington, National Honor Society. Sophia Marguerite Cacciaputi. Anna Maria Kane, National Honor Society. Edwin Clayton Carr. Emma Margaret Carroll. Joseph Paul Carroll. Constance Lynn Chapman, National Honor Society. Lucy Anna Yulian Clay, National Honor Society. Connor John Comerford. John Joseph Cannell. Claire Emma Corwin. Dylan Lawrence Constantino. Drew Edward Coveney. Leah O'Neill Crouch. Sarah Ann Cudahy. Liam Edward Cunning. Kurt Alexander Devers. Andrew Edward Dockeray. Ava Margot Doherty. Caroline Grace Donahue, National Honor Society. John Francis Elliott III. Lindsay Rose Ferreira. Piper Blanchard Finn, National Honor Society. Connor Bruce Allen Fitzgerald. Jacob James Fox. Calder August Frateroli. Reese Anthony Frio. Shane Patrick Galvin. Anna Carol Greck. James Matthew Greck. Anderson Lucy Green. Matthew James Grimes. William Timothy Grudinskis. Brooke Lillian Hallaby. Rita Moraine Hart. National Honor Society. Isabella Buckner Hess, National Honor Society. Andrew Martinez Hoadley. Emma Thomas Humphrey. Quentin Paul Humphrey. Charlotte Wellington Honeywell. Shaw Cooper Hutton. Kira Alicia Jameson. Amelia Jade Joyce. Gabrielle Marie Kennedy. Leela Yasmin Khan, National Honor Society. Waleed Riyad Kilani. Nicholas Kaluza, National Honor Society. Kevin Collins Krumsick. Beck Reinhard Labesh. Samuel Peter Lejal. Ava Josephine Lee, National Honor Society. Abigail Murphy Linhart. What? Joyce Jahi Lee. Genevieve Claire Littlejohn. Christian Zachary Earl Loft. William Lewis Laughlin. Theodore Linscott Lucier. Jack Alphonse Madden. Dana Amy Mahoney, National Honor Society. Taylor Alexandra Marshall, National Honor Society. Burke Cannon Maddie. Ethan Richard Maxwell, National Honor Society. Alyssa Mae McGee. Devin Patrick McGinty, National Honor Society. Kieran Patrick Mayhew, National Honor Society. Cassandra Carol Milton. Caitlin Elizabeth Maloney, National Honor Society. Tess Elizabeth Morris. Bernard Roland Mulcahy. Eloise Astrid Annabelle Navicki. Sorry, kiddo. Gunnar Anthony Nee. Julia Diane Norton, National Honor Society. Piper Curtin Norton, National Honor Society.
Congrats, Tyler.
Yeah, congrats. Ainsley Ann O'Brien. Allison Elizabeth Olson, National Honor Society. Serene Omaron, National Honor Society. Samuel Luke Ordway. Mackenzie Kierce Osborne. Caroline Marie Patterson, National Honor Society. Jillian Peyton Peroni, National Honor Society. William John Pizzella, National Honor Society. Elise Julia Regan. Reagan. Henry Heroy Richardson. William Clark Richardson. Carlton Clark Ritz. Benjamin Michael Sebastian. Morgan Lynn Style, National Honor Society. Shay Catherine Smith. Dylan Matthew Snee. Zoe Ryan Sorensen. Lee Catherine Spicer, National Honor Society. Thomas Donald St. Savar. Callie T. Stavis, National Honor Society. Christian Rumanoff Stoyanov. Tegan Anna Elizabeth Sturdy. Emma Galbraith Suzadel. John Whittier Swartwood. Cecilia Elizabeth Tarpey, National Honor Society. Pran Bim Tilak Singh, National Honor Society. Connor William Thompson. Erin Elizabeth Toomey, National Honor Society. Jonathan Michael Tullio. Victor Robert Merrill Wellman. Addison Gabrielle Westphalen. Aiko Elise White. Hallie DeRachelle Wilkinson.
Go right up front and do it. Class of 2021. families, friends, and colleagues, it is my pleasure to address you in person and as a whole community at our commencement exercises. It's been over a year of extraordinary change and challenge, and you should be commended on the sheer endurance it has taken to get to this point. We asked you to do things that you've never done and that we've never done. We changed your schedules, split you up, and doubled your lunches, which didn't stop Will and Reese from eating at both. Our faculty had to figure out new technologies and instructional strategies and what time zone Waleed was zooming in from. We had to organize ourselves and create spaces for learning and learn in new and unproven ways. And we did. And I hope that you take the time to reflect on why you were able to do what you did. Because in many ways, it's the most real education you could ever receive, tapping into the most necessary and genuine qualities of being human in order to persevere. On Friday, March 13th, 2020, we walked out of school for what we thought would be a 14-day hiatus to stop the spread. We left our computers, our books, our artwork, and our gym clothes. We had no idea what was to come, and many thought it was a welcome break in what was already a long month of March. Those 14 days turned into 453. While that period seems long in the context of our experience, in the larger historical sense, over that time you have borne witness to a remarkable number of world-changing events in a very short amount of time. Suddenly, there were no grades, no sports, no parties, no toilet paper. You witnessed a run on food in supermarkets and an incredible financial collapse and global recession. You were separated from loved ones over holidays, and some of you witnessed death in the most painfully isolated way. You witnessed political turmoil not seen since the Civil War, with 2 impeachment proceedings within a year of each other, a violent insurrection at the nation's capital, an unprecedented border crisis, and the death of a stalwart Supreme Court justice. You saw the election of the first Black and Asian and female Vice President of the United States, the fiercest cry for racial equality since Martin Luther King, and the devastating effects of climate change. Despite the busyness of the world, in our collective isolation, we stood together in an intimidating quietness. Having grown up in a world that is so dominated by image, the abrupt reversal of being seen, of literally having to cover your face with a mask if you leave the house, of not being able to see family or friends or colleagues at work, all of this created an incredible internal struggle to be noticed, to be seen, to matter, to be together. And in the absence of activity, you gradually moved away from the things that gave you something to do and towards the things that gave you purpose. Last May, I received an email from Mr. Levisi that read like this. At a time when a lot of kids are doing the bare minimum and some are evading their work, here's to Claire Corwin, who asked for a book to read independently for no credit, just to continue her learning. She's a rock star. I just wanted to share this with you. That kind of love of learning is genuine, and Mr. Levisi's appreciation of Claire is genuine. People like Morgan and Kira turned their focus to the Safe Harbor Coalition, made a tremendous difference creating practices and shaping policies that prevented or eased the suffering of those who fall victim to the challenges of substance abuse and declining mental health. That kind of advocacy is genuine. Leela, Devin, and Rita called on us to have more conversations around social justice, to better understand each other by recognizing our differences instead of being separated by them. That kind of empathy is genuine. We delude ourselves into thinking that joy is the only emotion that we should feel, when real appreciation exists in those times that we lose and cry and suffer. Major strains of Buddhism recognize collective suffering as a central component of our existence as humans in what are known as the Four Noble Truths, an acknowledgement that suffering exists, and that it exists in large part because of our material desires. Our desires for pleasure derived from material goods, and our desire to achieve immortality, both of which lead to greed, anger, ignorance, and jealousy, qualities that compound our suffering and bind us more to it. The promise of Buddhism is that the key to overcoming suffering lies in our ability to see the world with new eyes, to seek the truth, to minimize our attachments to material things, to speak kindly, to act in ways that help others, to seek positivity, and to maintain awareness of the present moment, all things which Kate so eloquently highlighted as the keys to happiness. And that's what we did. our nurses who cared for our sick, our scientists who worked diligently on creating a vaccine, our politicians who tried to create some relief for those suffering financially, our neighbors who helped support our businesses, our communities who stood with those who suffer at the risk of criticism. This is the antidote to suffering. These qualities that make us human, that give us meaning and help us navigate suffering. The pandemic didn't cancel those. Bella's compassion, Callie's kindness, Emma's ebullience, Serene's resilience, Aiko's grace, Dana's heart, Amelia's acceptance, Sean's service, Quinn's quiet leadership, heck, even Bernie's hypnotic singing. These were never muted, never covered up. In fact, quite the opposite. While the masks made it very hard to see you, in many ways the pandemic worked to reveal who you really were and who we really are. We learned through the fragility of our condition how quickly things can change, and learn the importance of being grounded in who we are and the need to lift each other up. We recognize the value of friendship and family and reliability. We recognize the importance of being able to celebrate, not the wins and the losses and the stuff, but the importance of being able to celebrate each other. Scoring 1,000 points in front of hundreds of people would have been awesome, Liam, but I can promise that the group that met you outside in the circle will hold more meaning over time. Because they didn't come just to see what you're about to do. They came because of who you are. Social media projections that manipulate how we look to others are nothing more than shadows in a digital cave wall. But empathy, compassion, trust, integrity, love, those things that make up our core, these are not the shadows, but the very marrow of life. And so I ask you this: will you have the courage to look beyond the shadows, to re-enter your old lives as new people? People who have sacrificed and seen and can now see the world with new beauty and meaning. In the midst of the darkness, a small but brilliant light shone through. It is the best of our humanity. And graduates, if you continue to let yours out, it will overpower the darkness. You have overcome arguably the most difficult period in modern human history. And nothing that we could have taught you in books and lectures and presentations could demonstrate that your inner resilience and our collective resolve are powerful. What seemed overwhelming before is nothing compared to the real challenges that you have faced and overcome. And as the sun continues to shine higher in the summer sky, may it remind you of the power that we have to overcome any obstacles that might interrupt your journeys. My hope is that we will not seek safety in the shadows of our former selves, but that the collective suffering and loss we've experienced inform a new self, grounded in empathy and compassion, in solidarity with those who may have gone unseen before. Congratulations on your graduation. I wish you nothing but the best as you continue your adventures. And as Erin Toomey put it as a yearbook quote, stay positive, test negative. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2021.